Hello, I'm Angel Feijo. Thank you for connecting to our optional orientation presentation for this group of people that are trying to participate in this worldwide hackathon. I Let me tell you a bit about me, but first, I am the person who organized this particular WhatsApp group in which we have been sharing information about this hackathon. The community who was invited to this group was from launching leaders. So I understand nearly everyone in this group has been a participant or is a follower of launching leaders, which is a great program. I also participate in that. So let me tell you a bit about me, and then I will start talking about the importance of artificial intelligence and how that can help all of us in our workplaces and our own entrepreneurships. Okay, so first, I'm from Peru, so most will recognize that's uh, one of the mountains in Machu Picchu in Cusco, Peru. That's me with a green shirt, with my wife and my three kids. That trip was a few years ago. I also work teaching artificial intelligence and new technologies in mainly in Peru. I have also given um, online conferences to other countries in Latin America. You see me in those pictures with some of my groups in universities in Peru that belong to several cities. And we have this group of students who are learning the most advanced artificial intelligence tools, uh, that information that is not included in currently in the programs, even in engineering programs. So these are young people who are learning a lot by themselves, and are starting to do interesting startups, and applying these new tools to the programs that they are studying. Also, I was because I specialize in these topics, I was invited nearly 3 years ago to everyone should recognize this international entity, OECD. By this time, the ChatGPT was something so new that most people and even authorities and important people didn't understand the impact of this thing that just appeared, that there was nothing like that before. So I was one of the people invited to this international event to present a point of view. In my case, I presented about the application of these kind of tools in education. I also was in in Boston, United States, in the MIT. So some of the information I'm bringing to you, I I brought it from MIT, which is surely everyone knows that that's one of the places in the world where these new breakthroughs are invented, um, and then we in all the remaining places in the world we can learn from them. Yeah, and in general, I teach um, about these topics that either from students to college professors to authorities, government officials, um, and I have some wide array of materials I can use in those presentations. I have more photos of me in Boston, MIT. So far in the comment we are not many, so maybe um, you feel more um, easy to participate, to make any comment or question. My plan for today is not much to talk about the contest or hackathon we are participating in, but the importance of AI independently of this particular event um, is this is something disruptive that is happening um, in our world that is expected to have an impact in all industries, all countries, all sectors, all professions. So um, it's important for everyone who wants to improve their self-reliance. If there is a young person who is trying to start a professional career, or an experienced professional who wants to provide a better service to their employer, or an entrepreneur who wants to have the latest innovation, maybe provide and sell that innovation to his country and other countries. So, well, any comments so far? You can either use the chat or turn your microphone on. Do you hear me well? I hope so.
Yes, we are hearing you very well.
I hear you.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so first thing I wanted to say is, in case anyone had doubts, so artificial intelligence is a field of technology. I happen to work in that, um, that started not in the recent years. It has more than 1 century. Um, Made initially not with that name, artificial intelligence, but the term artificial intelligence is around at least 60 years in the past, before I was born. And this kind of estimate that I'm showing, that is at least 10 years old, always knew that the machines will uh, have an intelligence similar to mankind, and even superior. So it was always known. You can see in uh, this curve how the different inventions made in many of those years were increasing in intelligence. I mean, engineers knew that that intelligence will reach the similar intelligence of a mouse, and it was also predicted that machines will reach the intelligence of human beings. And that's exactly what's happening in the very recent years with ChatGPT and similar. And it's also known that the intelligence of the machines will be much higher than human beings. So each of us that needs to serve a purpose in society, everyone who needs to provide some kind of service, especially those who provide an intellectual or academic or professional service without human intelligence and our knowledge, um, our, our skills, um, we are at risk of being replaced, maybe not this year, but in very few years, by this kind of technology. So is something that I wanted to start saying. Um, it's not that ChatGPT or similar is the interesting thing, or the important thing to talk about. Is this phenomenon, this reality, that the artificial intelligence in general is nowadays with similar level of intelligence as a human being, and will increase to become much more intelligent than a human being. And companies who need employees will start hiring the artificial intelligence and not us. See, yes. Then how fast, I just showed a curve, but yeah, you have one more example about how fast this phenomenon is growing. In screen, maybe the people who is my age is remembers that the chess, this chess game, used to be something important in the world. There were champions by that time, Karpov and Kasparov, and they made the news, front page of newspapers, until year 1997, when a system by IBM was able to defeat the current worldwide champion in chess. Since that day, no human have been able to win in chess against a computer. Now, see again the year is year 1997. It has to be 20 more years until year 2017, in which a new system was able to beat the human champion in this game called Go. It happens that this game Go has more combination of movements, so computers of that time were not able to win over the human champion. It had to be 20 years until this new system was able to defeat the champion. Since this date, there is no more board game in which humans can beat computers. So this breakthrough in artificial intelligence required 20 years of development. Well, nowadays it's completely different. Nowadays, since the launch of ChatGPT on November 2022, the pace of discovery, invention, and disruption has been increasing in speed. So every week, so people like me who try to be up to date with these technological advances cannot be up to date because every week there is something new. If I go on vacation or I have some activity of one whole week, I will be not up to date with what is now available. Now, I want to show also a couple of opinions from very important wise people nowadays. This is historian Yuval Harari. He said that the ChatGPT is similar to the amoeba. Am I pronouncing it correctly? Amoeba is this microscopic microbe. And he says that ChatGPT is only that within the AI future development. And he wonders how the T-Rex, the dinosaur, how the T-Rex of AI will look like. Also, this on the screen is Geoffrey Hinton. Geoffrey Hinton is called one of the godfathers of artificial intelligence. He was one of the co-inventors of deep learning and other techniques. And then he won a Nobel Prize in physics. A Nobel Prize in physics, even he's not a scientist in physics, because of the help of artificial intelligence. Well, in the screen, you can see that he said that the Industrial Revolution made the human strength of the human worker irrelevant, and that artificial intelligence will make the human intelligence of the human employee irrelevant. So each of us who try to earn a living with our intelligence, with our knowledge, our experience, we are at risk of gradually being replaced by the AI. But well, these are warnings, so that few people that are paying attention, relatively few people, we can reinvent ourselves and take charge of our learning of these new tools, so we can be the ones that are successful. And the people who are not paying attention to these changes in history might lose their jobs and might not have a role within society. So is it affecting jobs? Or so any comments so far? I plan to do some a review of the current situation of this phenomenon, and then I will show us some recommendations how each of us can improve our understanding, our mastering of these new incredible tools. Any comments so far? Okay, you can write in a question maybe using the chat if you have any comment or question. Well, about jobs, it is already replacing jobs, mainly in the United States. Maybe because the United States is an advanced country, so they do much automation. So companies there are ready to, as soon as a new automatization tool appears, they are ready to replace some workers with that tool. Well, this is some words by Amazon's CEO. He said that by this date on year 2024, 4,500 developer years were already replaced by artificial intelligence. That's a huge number. Then last year, people, I mean experts, so many experts start to use the term job apocalypse. They are not saying that jobs will decrease or it will be difficult to get jobs. They started to use the term job apocalypse in the United States because many companies are planning to reduce the number of human employees and start hiring or not hiring, but using the artificial intelligence. This was also a prediction by the CEO of Anthropic. He's the same. If you have been reading the news in the last week, this is a company that didn't want the president of the United States to use his technology for war. So he lost big contracts with the government. Well, this person predicted that in 5 years in the United States, half of the job positions for recent undergrad students, as soon as they finish their undergrad programs, half of them won't have any job. So the jobs won't exist for half of the people that will be in colleges in the United States 5 years from now. And that prediction was confirmed by several sources. Even the head of the United States Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, he also mentioned the term hiring apocalypse. That is something real. MIT presented this study where they talk about an iceberg. The iceberg means that 2% of the employees in the United States that have been already laid off. 2% in a big country like that is a lot of people. But the MIT did a study that in addition to the 2%, there is an additional 11.7% that has not been laid off yet, but the current AI is capable of doing the work of those 11.7% of US workers. That's a huge number, and it's going to increase. Then this woman is a chair of the International Monetary Fund. She also gave some words in this important World Economic Forum in Davos. She said, "Wake up, AI is for real," and that AI is a tsunami coming for young people and entry-level jobs. This was said just in January this year. So what do we do now? Now I will show some options so people can prepare. And this has relation to our hackathon. When the launching leaders community was invited to this hackathon, many people joined, but we have to realize that this particular event, this particular hackathon, is not really beginner. It was advertised as a beginner training program, but it is not really so beginner. So many beginners might feel lost, even not just a technical aspect, but it's a complex context. So maybe many beginners won't be able to enjoy and participate much in this event. But this doesn't mean that the people should not continue trying to learn. I'm trying to show the importance of this phenomenon, and that I will now show some specific actions that people can take. So each independent of their particular level right now can improve their knowledge and mastering of these tools. Well, any comments so far before I start talking about some recommendations? Any comment or question?
Yeah, I just want to make a little comment because when it
Sure.
comes to AI, artificial
Sure.
intelligence, I I really enjoy using it. Okay, so when I heard about Gen AI, also interested on the hackathon. In fact, I put all my efforts deeply to make sure that I accomplish it. If not at least the $5,000, at least something out of it. So
Sure. Hopefully,
it's
if you
yeah,
work hard on this, you might get
yeah.
some prize.
Okay, I've already submitted my team registration
Right.
and I hope to submit my also the project. So
Great.
I love it. I love it. I hope to go, in fact, higher with it.
Excellent. Excellent. Mhm. Thank you.
Okay.
So now I will show some um recommendations. Now, one more element is for us to know. This is a person who is an important executive on the international company KPMG. This is an international worldwide consulting company which hires the best talent in the world. And look at the screen. Um, he was actually, I was in person in Boston, United States, when he said this in May, nearly 1 year ago. He said that he was asked what kind of people his company is hiring, and he responded that he needs people with skills to develop agents on the fly. So the AI agents can solve the types of problems that clients are asking them. So if you know how the consulting business works, it was never like this. So every big consulting company like this surely hired some engineering or technical people, but also many other people, not non-technical. It hired either business people, economists, even a few artists, so people who have different backgrounds, so they can contribute for the many different kinds of clients the consulting business has. But he said nearly a year ago that now he already has the consulting people. What he needs now are the people who can develop agents. I will clarify in case that's not clear, that using a tool like ChatGPT is very far from developing agents. And to get a job in KPMG, they need to know how to develop agents. It's an example. This is not the only company in the world. It's an example that 1 year ago, this important company was only hiring people who know how to develop agents to help their business. Then another reference, this is another consulting company. This was this year when the CEO of McKinsey is a very important worldwide consulting company. He said that his company currently employs 35,000 human employees and 25,000 AI agents. So even the CEO considers the AI agents as workers or employees in his company. I have some demonstrations in Spanish, but the point is that this learning path that I will describe very quickly, level by level, is more or less what a person nowadays, a professional or even a young person who wants to have an interesting role in society, that can receive good job offers, can be paid well, more or less have to follow this sequence of learning different levels of mastering the artificial intelligence tools. So number one, you see a user level. So using these artificial intelligence tools is obviously the first step. So we all need to use the ChatGPT, the Copilot, the Gemini, Claude, and the Midjourney, many tools to generate text, to generate video, images. So that's the first level. Now the second level is the creation of bots. We are able to create more specialized tools without the need of programming. I will talk a little more about that. Third is the third level is what we are doing right now in the hackathon. They are helping us to learn the vibe coding. Vibe coding requires some effort to learn, but we can learn that in one day. Remember that in the hackathon at the beginning, they had this session to learn vibe coding in 1 hour. Okay, that was very optimistic. Maybe 1 hour is not really enough to learn vibe coding, but 8 hours, one day is nothing. Many people in the world require to study 4 years, 5 years to have a degree, a college degree. Well, this allows us in one day to understand something important for employers. Well, that's vibe coding. 4 is for people who know how to program the APIs. The 5, 6 are also for people who know how to program. And the 7 is just not only for individual people, but for companies or big organizations. Let me enter more to detail. So first, the user level is the tools that most people know about AI. I mentioned the several tools that generate text, and we can use that either for a student to help him do the homework, learning, to discuss things with the artificial intelligence, to understand better some concepts, to present visually or graphically his homework better than before. So this is a first important level. We all have to use the new tools we have at hand. So this is the first of the 7 levels of learning artificial intelligence. The second, this is very easy and is free, but most employees and professionals in the world don't know this exists. And also, it's a bit confusing in the terminology because in this case, the different technology giants name their product with different terms. So, for example, if you want to take note, in ChatGPT, OpenAI, they call this tool the custom GPTs. Now, in Microsoft, they call this custom copilots in plural. Then the term I'm using right now is bots in POE.com. There's this tool, it's very easy and also free. They call them bots. And in Gemini, in Google Gemini, this same tool is called GEM, GEM. Well, the 4 things I just mentioned are the same. What's this? We can configure our chatbot, our own chatbot, with some information. For example, I use this for grading some homework papers for my students. So I made one bot for each specific homework. I enter to the bot the the requests, requirements, the evaluation criteria, some examples of successful papers written for that same homework. And after I configured my bot, then I provided my bot with each work from my students, and it generated a very nicely written feedback, uh, indicating what was very well in the paper, but also what was missing, what errors, mistakes he made, and it was even able to grade it. So here in Peru, we have a scale of over 20 points. So it was able to set the grade between 0 and 20. Was very helpful. That's a bot. Well, so this is a second level of utilizing these AI tools. Even some of these tools can even generate images, diagrams, infographics. Well, the third one is our current hackathon. They are teaching us vibe coding. You see, I just copied here the class we had last week, that supposedly in 1 hour we were going to be able to build and launch a working website. Okay, maybe that's too much optimistic. Maybe some people did in 3, 4, 5 hours, but it's still less than one full day. And that's a skill that next day you can work doing websites and charging to your clients for that valuable service, and without knowing any programming, any web development skills. It's like magic. It's a magic wand. It's a superpower that we can have very easily and for free to have that skill. Well, that's a third level. We don't need to know computer programming or computer languages to do that. Just a comparison, traditional coding or programming, I also used to be a programmer, so we need to understand obviously the syntax, the language, the exact words and syntax, and I needed to type that code without making typing errors. Well, now the vibe coding is that we just ask the AI to create the application I have in my imagination, or the application that my client is requesting from me. And the first version surely won't be enough. So I tell the AI the changes that need to be done, and it will make all the changes I want until the operation is what I was intended, that was requested. And the final result is very similar to one done by a professional programmer. Well, the fourth level, it requires programming knowledge. If any who is listening to me knows Python or another programming language, probably you already know that you have a power to create very interesting, important, useful, and profitable tools using the APIs of artificial intelligence. Then the next level is RAG, which means Retrieval Augmented Generation, which is similar to before, but in this case, your program accesses the organization's database. If you know how to program and you now know how to use the AI APIs, now you can connect to your organization database and do many services, online services, that are required by many companies, by most companies in the world, in their digital transformation efforts or digitization. So that's RAG. Sixth level is agents. In this hackathon, also they talk a lot about agents. Some of the teams will create agents using the vibe coding. Maybe other teams won't create agents, but well, agent is something even more powerful than everything I've been saying. It's very powerful and very lucrative for the people who is learning how to create agents. And the seventh, this is not for individual people. This is for organization. They can create really from scratch, from zero, their own ChatGPT or similar, loaded or trained with the knowledge of their organization, their rules, their laws. It could be a government, it could be a big university, could be a big church that create their own ChatGPT for their own purposes. So that's a highest level. So let me show again the sequence. So maybe you are, if any of you are still in the user level, in this hackathon, you will can at least jump to the second and third level. The vibe coding, we have several online courses for free available in this website, in the Slack website, and in the other Gen AI website. And maybe some of you can jump to the fourth level to use the API. If you have access to your organization database, you can do a RAG, and maybe you can do an agent, and then you have your future assured to be a provider of artificial intelligence applications. Most companies in the world are hiring this right now. And about the bot for the beginners, the bots creation is something that maybe after that's a suggestion after the hackathon ends, which is a week from now, or we can wait until they announce the winners. We can use this big community of people interested in learning AI to do some kind of small review of the bots creation. It's very easy, it's very useful, it's free, but most people don't know that this exists. So maybe that could be useful for beginners. So that was my presentation. Hopefully this is useful to you. Any comment, any question, either about what I mentioned or maybe also about the hackathon. I'm not trying to duplicate the already a large amount of information that is in the hackathon. You just need to pay attention where to find, particularly these participants guideline checklist. You need to make sure you're following the steps, and with your teams, maybe you're already thinking hard on that. What is your proposal of innovation for this city in the United States? Well, any comment or question? You're welcome. You know that I am in the WhatsApp group, so you can also use the group to say any question or comment. You're welcome. Okay, if so, Grip or Grep, you have question, please go ahead. Either with voice or chat, either way is fine.
Okay, I just
can
want
hear you.
to.
Thank
Okay,
you.
okay,
You're
thank
welcome.
you very much.
Mhm.
I just want to. I just want to appreciate you, and as I said earlier, I'm happy to know more about this hackathon. I've been looking for a platform like this to run, and how will this help me? How will I implement this in my community where I am? And how can this extend me to advance me to something higher? Because I'm going to take it as, in fact, I'm passionate about it. I'm going to take it as my career because I'm studying applied technology and I want to go far with it. So when I heard of hackathon, I need something like this.
Right.
So how will this get me an advancement and
Sure.
how will I go higher with this?
Yes, surely this is a powerful tool. It's like an ingredient to whatever we are doing, or whatever is our field, our profession, our specialty, even our hobbies. Maybe in our free time, we can do incredible things. Um, so yes, surely you will do great, Otto. Am I pronouncing it correctly? There was also a question from
Yes.
Greg. I'm learning the chat. It says, if we will learning path of AI, the 7 steps I just showed are my recommendation. It's not the only way to present the steps. And actually, there are many smaller steps. My main point is that maybe you are already um, among the few people in the world that realize that this AI is a huge phenomenon, that if you learn some of these things, you will have a power, you will have a success, and you will be helpful in your communities to provide some service that before problems had no solution. Now, with this intelligence, you can implement solutions to some needs in your community. Um, so um, the hackathon is not very beginner. Either if you are a beginner, you can work very hard to follow the trainings. But if you are already into technology or into programming, then you might even have a chance to win some of the prizes in the hackathon, and you will have a great experience. I don't know if I answered the question. Um, and Jafet says, you cannot hear very well. This will be, we are recording this and we will share the recording. Yes, don't worry. Okay, so any final comment? If not, remember I am in the group, so you can use the group anytime. Any final comments or question? Okay, well, thank you very much. This will be recorded and shared. So we'll see you in the group. Take care. Bye.
Okay. Okay, boss. Thank you. Bye.